Bibliophiles of the internet, my name's Adriana and today is a Top 5 Wednesday video all about recommending 5 hidden gem books in a category of our choosing, so I decided to share 5 awesome middle grade books. Now, I have done a couple of middle grade recommendations videos in the past, which I will link down below. One I made about 2 years ago and one is from like my first year on BookTube, so they both have very different quality levels, but I still recommend all of those books. First off, I want to mention a book I just read at the beginning of 2018, and that was Love, Sugar, Magic, A Dash of Trouble by Ana Mariano. This is Own Voices about a Mexican-American girl named Leo Logroño whose family owns and operates a local bakery, and preparing food for the annual Dia de los Muertos festival is one of their biggest events. Leo is hoping she'll be able to help out this year, but once again her mom tells her that she's just too young to be of use. What she ends up finding out is that all the females in her family are brujas, and they infuse magic into everything they bake. Even though Leo hasn't come into her powers yet, she is adamant that she can be of help now and that she shouldn't have to wait, so she steals her family's ancient recipe book because trying out a spell or two couldn't hurt anyone, right? This was such a brilliant, enjoyable story. Not only does it represent the Mexican-American community beautifully, but you really get so much from Leo, who feels left out when it comes to her culture, her community, her family, and it's the desperation that stems from that, the desperation to be understood and to be a part of something that leads her to causing so much chaos. The story shows how keeping secrets for whatever reason is unhealthy. When we let people into our lives, when we share what we have to offer, we become stronger for it. It's a really wonderful book that puts new spins on classic spells gone wrong, and like I said, the representation is fantastic as well. This is definitely one to put on your list. Next, I would like to recommend Pax by Sarah Pennypacker. This one is a heartbreaker for sure. It's about a boy named Peter who has raised his fox Pax ever since he was a kid. But when his father enlists in an unnamed war and Peter has to go live with his grandfather, his dad forces him to release Pax. As soon as Peter makes it to his grandfather's house, he's overcome with regret and he knows he never should have let Pax go. So the story is told in chapters that alternate between Peter and Pax as boy and fox do everything they can to find each other again and reunite. This is a very difficult book to read. I won't sugarcoat it or promise you a feel-good ending, but it's a very necessary story that shows how change is at the very core of life itself. We are constantly in the middle of change, and it doesn't always bring nice or happy things. This story forces you to sit in the middle of those growing pains, those moments that are so big that they hurt to take in all at once, those moments where you are completely powerless. But at the same time, it's a beautiful story, and Pennypacker has really honed in on the voices of these two characters, how they both need each other and what they both value in this relationship. Like I said, a very tough read, but one I still recommend. If you're in need of a good cry, look no further than Pax. Next up is Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand. This one is about a girl named Finley who is experiencing anxiety and depression, especially in the face of her parents' impending divorce. While they deal with their issues, they send Finley away for the summer to stay with her grandparents. To cope with her mental health, she's always written stories about this fantastical world called the Everwood, and while at her grandparents' house, she discovers that this world is real, it's in their backyard, and she is the only one who can save it. This is a really incredible story that shows the necessity of having a safe place, a place that is yours alone, and how that can be a method of coping with mental health. But it's also about how the stress and sadness from Finley's personal life bleeds into the Everwood until the two become hopelessly tangled up. What's so powerful about this one is that as the story goes on, you see how everyone in Finley's family represses any difficult or unsavory truths. They don't talk about the divorce, they don't talk about their problems, they're obsessed with keeping up this facade of perfection, which does no one any favors. And they've spent so long pretending that everything is okay that they're also in their own way having problems differentiating between what is real and what is this pretend world of perfection that they've created for themselves. The story is about Finley realizing that no one person can possibly handle every turn life is going to throw at them, and we shouldn't be expected to deal with it quietly either. That's not normal, that's not the standard. It takes a great amount of strength to realize when it's time to ask for help. Next, I suggest you check out The Epic Fail of Arturo Zamora by Pablo Cartaya. This is once again Own Voices Latinx fiction. It's about a boy named Arturo who spends his summers working as a dishwasher in his abuela's restaurant. The problem is that the city is threatening to shut them down to make room for a huge commercial building once their lease is up. Arturo and his family refuse to go down without a fight, and they put all their effort into protesting and trying to change the city council's vote. As I've said before, this book perfectly sums itself up on page 176 when Arturo says, "Family is the only home worth claiming." It's a story about finding your voice, realizing what matters to you, and deciding where you take a stand, what you're willing to claim and protect. As the story progresses, you see Arturo and his family becoming stronger as they discover the power of protest, as they prove their place in this community and ultimately their right to exist. Like I said in my wrap-up, this is again a story that is focused on the phenomenon of change, how you can fear it, fight it, or you can be a part of it. It's a really wonderful, heartwarming story that explores the intersections of family, culture, pride, and resistance, and I would consider it a staple on any bookshelf. Lastly, I want to explicitly recommend my latest obsession, the How to Train Your Dragon series by Cressida Cowell. This fantasy adventure series is about the making of an unlikely legend, Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III, heir to the Hairy Hooligan Viking tribe. In his youth, Hiccup is disgraced and ridiculed by his family, his mentors, his peers. He is introverted, passive, bookish, one of the only Vikings who can fluently speak Dragonese, but these characteristics don't exactly win him any fans, especially in a culture that values brute strength and violence the most. And the series follows Hiccup as he works his way in and out of trouble time and time again, and ultimately comes to accept his destiny as one of the greatest Vikings to ever live. This series is tremendously special. I highly recommend listening to the audiobooks read by David Tennant, whose vocal abilities are just beyond compare. I've said it over and over these past months, but this series is a standout because it goes to show that all the ways we're different serve to allow us to make a difference. And in each book you see how important it is to keep trying, to keep giving people chances to surprise you, because that's the only way we foster progress. Another cool thing is that while each book feels like a contained adventure, everything ties together in the end in really exciting ways, and it becomes so much bigger than you would ever expect. These books are hilarious, exciting, captivating. I have loved every second I've spent listening to these amazing stories, and you should definitely try them for yourself. So those are 5 more middle grade books or series that have moved and excited me. Of course, if you have any middle grade recommendations for me, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But that's everything I had for this Top 5 Wednesday topic today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the flip side of the page. Bye!